In summary, Nigeria suffered a monumental reversal in her electoral and democratic gains through the criminal mismanagement of the electoral process by INEC and security agencies, who both compromised their duties and donated their powers of election refereeing and law enforcement to unscrupulous politicians bent on imposing their self-will over and above that of the people.
Good day, viewers. Welcome to another episode of What is Trending. My name is Angelo Himalayas. Yes, I know you've missed us for some time, but don't miss us much because we're back to give you updates back to back. Yes, I have something that would blow your mind. This particular piece of information is coming at a time that all Nigerians have all eyes on social media, all eyes on the judiciary, and all eyes on the president-elect, his vice, and members of his camp, at a time where political propaganda has taken the forefront of events in Nigeria, and at a time where a sort of political backlash has been taken or facing different candidates from different parties. Okay, now let me blow your mind. Now, witches and wizards have endorsed Bola Asiwaju Ahmed Tinibu. Isn't that shocking? How can witches and wizards endorse a president in Nigeria, for God's sake? Okay, now let me give you the details in full. Now, they have asked Nigerians to pray for his long life. Witches and wizards. Can you imagine? What has Asiwaju got to do with witches and wizards? And then all of a sudden, Festus Keyamo, and then Femi Fani-Kayode, and then the rest of them will come out, members of the APC Presidential Campaign Council will come out and start pointing hands. Well, we'll know soon, maybe on 29th of May, when he will be inaugurated into office, talking about Asiwaju. We'll know if he's a worshipper of witches or not. That's different. Now, ahead of his inauguration on May 29th, the White Witches and Wizards Association of Nigeria have urged Nigerians to pray for the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his good health and long life. The group also urged Tinubu not to be afraid of campaigns and sorts of calumny against him. The spokesperson of this group, surprisingly, one Okwe Oboy, came out to assure Bola Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu that currently, listen with keen interest, that currently they are cleansing and detoxifying the Abuja environment for him to operate smoothly. Witches and wizards assuring Asiwaju there of peaceful coexistence. In an address in Calabar, Cross River State, Oboy warned aggrieved politicians against scuttling Tinubu's inauguration. That is, he's telling everybody, both those at the tribunal and those who are not even at the tribunal, politicians in general, to stop or no plans to scuttle Tinubu's inauguration. Now, his words were thus. Let me read word for word what the head or chief spokesperson of the Witches and Wizards Association said. Now, listen attentively. What Tinubu needs now is prayers of good health and long life from all Nigerians, so he could deliver on his renewed hope, promise for better life for all. That is what the spokesperson of the Witches and Wizards Association said. Now, they didn't just stop there. Let me shock you the more. To the drama king of Nigerian politics, talking about Dino Melaye, this same White Witches Association came out to talk to Dino, and they advised him as he's running or as he's planning to run for the governorship or gubernatorial elections for Kogi State. Now, they said Dino Melaye should seek quickly, in quote, quickly should seek their counsel ahead of the forthcoming November elections in Kogi State. I am wondering what Dino Melaye would make out of this particular news caption. Maybe he has had one or two things to do with this association over time. This group of witches and wizards have already consulted with major tribes in Kogi State and believe that it will be in Melaye's best interest and utmost progress to visit them or consult them before he runs for governorship come November this year. Well, I don't have anything to say about this, but I would urge you to stay be really careful wherever you are in Nigeria, because Nigeria is turning into something we cannot tell, something we cannot fathom, and something we can't even understand. Okay, so for witches and I didn't even know that witches and wizards had an association in Nigeria. This is mind-blowing, this is confusing, this is flabbergasting, and this is, I don't know, this is something out of the box. That is that on that particular update. I have something new for you too. Something that we all Nigerians have been gearing for. Now, if the common man cannot be heard at the national level, at the higher level, now, or if the ordinary Nigerian like you and I cannot be heard, that means there must be a channel to which or by which these politicians will be talked to, or a channel where you could air your own views or speeches and you would escape indictment or imprisonment, just like in the case of Umwele Sowore, who was always in loggerheads with President Muhammadu Buhari and his government. Okay, now a group that termed itself as the Labour and Civil Society Group have called on the judiciary to please redeem its image over the 2023 elections. This happened in a press conference, and the theme of that press conference, as stamped by this group called Labour and Civil Society Group, that theme was called Threatening the Composition of Democracy in Nigeria. Yes, now let me give you a brief of what this press conference was all about. Now, the Labour and Civil Society Group have come in full swing by their chief spokesperson, one Ambassador Nkoyo Toyo. Okay, she was the chief convener of that particular press conference, and she urged Nigerians in her speech to still believe in the powers of the judiciary to do justice to the elections petitions before them. Although in her speech, in the general overview and summary of it, she fronted a kind of defense of the Nigerian democracy and in solidarity with Nigerian workers on a day that workers were recognized, that is today, the first day of May 2023, which is Workers' Day. So let me leave you to really watch this spokesperson of the Labour and Civil Society as she read everything she actually directed to the judiciary, to Asiwaju and to President Muhammadu Buhari. Let me not let the cat out of the bag. Watch her.
The 2023 general election have taken place, but its ripples and aftermath for our promising democracy have been worrisome and frightening. Some of us who are architects of Nigeria's current democratic experience, being human rights activists, political rights advocates, progressives, civil society and labor union activists that fought the military for the restoration of democratic governance in Nigeria, have watched with utter astonishment how the processes and procedures meant to consolidate our 24 years of democratic wins have been greatly eroded through the 2023 general elections. We entered this season of elections with a strong consensus by Nigerians that the new Electoral Act will improve the level of electoral accountability, and the huge financial investment of about 355 billion in the electoral processes, including the deployment of beavers and the use of INEC IREF, will make a marked difference in the elections. Sadly, the 2023 general elections became an anticlimax, dashing the hopes of Nigerians for credible elections and denying citizens the emergence of qualitative political leadership across Nigeria. Clearly, INEC in cohort with some members of the political class have driven a death nail into the democratic experience of most Nigerians, thus leaving the electorate despondent to resort to self-help in their effort to salvage whatever is left of their vibrant political engagement with the 2023 elections. Unfortunately, majority of Nigerians, especially the youths, who fought with patriotism to reset their country through the ballot box, are now wondering if elections have become the tool for legitimizing the corrupt to take over Nigeria. This dark cloud of anguish arising from the terribly mismanaged 2023 general elections has jolted the confidence and hope of many Nigerians, thus propelling us as citizens of conscience to take this bold step of beginning to resist and mitigate the intended and unintended crisis looming over our dear country. As a first step, we have decided to signify our public displeasure at INEC and those behind the political coup against the well laid out and established electoral norms and standards contained in the Electoral Act of 2022. Therefore, we condemn the outright manipulations of the electoral process and the abdication of responsibility by INEC, as it has not only destroyed trust in the democratic process, but has rewarded wrongdoing, making it possible for persons of stupendous reach, controversial background, who lack legitimacy, to become the real beneficiaries of our electoral process. Prior to the 2023 general elections, INEC showed early signs of inconsistency by shifting electoral deadlines which favored the ruling party. INEC also discouraged new voters from registering through an abrupt decision to halt the continuous voters registration. And as if that was not enough, INEC deployed technical personnel manning sensitive positions to non-technical roles, thereby interrupting the seamless and effective deployment of technology in the elections. As a decoy, INEC initially displayed a high level of preparedness during the off-season elections in Anambra, Ekiti, or Osun governorship elections. INEC's use of technology in those elections gave Nigerians reason to believe that technology will apply in the subsequent 2023 general elections, thereby causing Nigerians to be caught off their guards. In summary, Nigeria suffered a monumental reversal in her electoral and democratic gains through the criminal mismanagement of the electoral process by INEC and security agencies, who both compromised their duties and donated their powers of election refereeing and law enforcement to unscrupulous politicians bent on imposing their self-will over and above that of the people. A brazen and most shameful example was seen in Adamawa, where INEC, emboldened by its many earlier infractions, decided to go for broke by declaring Senator Binani as winner of an unconcluded governorship election. We are calling for a return to a rules-based democracy in which Nigerians can remain hopeful that their sacrifices of participating in elections will ultimately count. Therefore, as affected individuals and parties resort to the courts as the main conflict-resolving mechanism, we hope that the judiciary, as the final arbiter, will ensure that the malfeasances of those powerful individuals and their corrupt allies will not be rewarded, but rather they will be discredited and punished. Nigeria's democracy was earned on the blood and sweat of many of our colleagues who have paid the supreme price. For those who are still with us here today, and many of them are seated in this room today, we celebrate and appreciate them as we remind ourselves of the sacrifices of our forebearers and those of our democratic champions.
Thanks for watching this far, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for always being with us. Don't forget, all these viral videos are for your consumption and the consumptions of your friends and family. Make it go viral. Share it to people in Nigeria and in diaspora. Happy Workers' Day. See you next time.